Alright, what is up guys, Action Figure Addict 112 here, and we are going to be taking a look at the Articulated Icons Fumetsu Undying Ronin. So, yeah, I've been messing around with this guy for a little bit, and I have some mixed feelings about him, and hopefully you'll understand where I'm coming from in this review. So I've been trying out different figure lines, or I guess going back to some figure lines as of recent, just because a lot of stuff that I was looking at got canceled because of obvious reasons. A lot of stuff from Toy Fair still hasn't been released, and or has been delayed for a long period of time. And I figured now would be a good time to go and check some of that stuff out. Like recently I got some of the McFarlane and Jazzwares Fortnite stuff, and I really like that stuff, especially the Jazzwares stuff. I got a few NECA figures, and I got a few 1/18 scale things, and that's about it. So, um, but I was in the mood to get a samurai, and I came across these, and I wanted to get a samurai because I wanted to make my own custom figure, similar to how Strident has his own custom character that he uses from his War of the God comics, where he took one of the Mythic Legions figures, Gorgo Aetherblade, and he kind of took it and changed it up and made it his own. That was kind of where I got the inspiration to do my thing. However, after messing around with him, I've come across a few issues that I need to try to resolve, but I wanted to shoot a review of this before I did anything to fix the issues. That way you guys could see it firsthand. So yeah, getting that all out of the way, let's take a quick look at his paint and his sculpt. So his paint is pretty simple. It's kind of like a brownish kind of color, kind of a metallic-ish brown, I guess, for some of it, at least for me. And then the body is like a grayish, washed out gray color. And yeah, that pretty much consists throughout this whole figure, and that's nice. So you can see one of the issues I'm having. He has a very nice sash, and that's nicely painted too. Even the little sandals here are painted too. So that all looks good. In terms of the sculpting, as you can see, it's very nicely done sculpting. For the armor, it looks very accurate to samurai armor, and that's cool. And yeah, he has a sash, the multiple separated pieces of armor there. The wrist gauntlets look good, shoulder pads look good, and then once we get into the helmet and stuff like that, that also looks good. And then of course he even has a little ponytail there. He has the gray on the sides, and then he has his little stubble, and his eyes are obviously different because he has blacked out eyes with the orange or yellow pupils. Since this is supposed to be an actual character in the universe that this exists in, where he commits seppuku and then is brought back from the dead or something like that, which I guess is cool, but I don't really give a shit about it because I'm not going to use it for that. But still cool for people who want to use it for that. But yeah, looks pretty good, at least in terms of the detailing and stuff like that. So in terms of his accessories, comes with this spear, or this bladed staff, is what I should call it. Which looks good, nicely painted. Comes with the bow. Which looks okay. I mean, I would have preferred how they went the Mythic Legions route and actually added a string on there, but there's that. There's the Japanese War Club here, which this is a actual weapon that was used during the Shogun era, and this was basically used to shatter the bones and immobilize their enemies. So yeah, it's basically an iron bat with iron balls in it in the multiple sections here. And then you get the arrow for the bow. You get the unmasked head here, which it looks good, even though it's just the ninja head. Then you also get a quiver for the arrows. You get the sheath, or the belt piece here to hold the sheaths, and then you also get the katana, which looks really nice, even has a little gold at the end there where the hilt is. And I like the curvature of the katana. Looks better than the Marvel Legends ones. And then the wakizashi. And then these come separate, but you can just slide them in here. You'll have some issue sliding that in there, but you can slide it in there. Then you get the mask here, which I'm not really a fan of this accessory. I think it kind of looks like shit, but that's just me. This one I actually like and will use. This half skull armored mask there, like ballistic mask. Even though he wouldn't need a ballistic mask, but I guess an armored face shield. The samurai helmet, and then the two pauldrons that you can use for it. You have this one, which reminds me very much of the Wu-Tang symbol. And then you also have this one here, which is the one I'm going to use. And to put that on there, you just push it on and it should tab in. This one I've had issues with tabbing in, but there you go. And then on the inside here, there should be some little nubs here, and that is going to allow you to hold the face mask in there once you put the head on, or once you put this on the head. And because there's a peg in here, you have to remove the ponytail in order to do that. But I'm going to wait till the end to like gear him all up with the weapons and stuff. So getting that out of the way, let's look at his articulation. Okay, so for his articulation, his head moves 360. Can look up this much. Can look down this much. No real side to side. I mean, it's real slight, but not really as much as maybe some others would want. This rotates 360 because it can be taken off. His arms rotate 360. His arms move up this much, but again, I'm having issues with this particular shoulder pad, and then you also see that, and that's even with the arm popped fully in there, because you're supposed to be able to interchange the parts and stuff, which I'm not too happy that is. Or I guess when you move the arm up like that, it does that, which I'm not too pleased about. He gets a bicep swivel, which you can see there. 360, or I'm sorry, double jointed elbows. See, you can already see the issues arise when you get into the articulation section. So double jointed elbows, no wrist swivel, or no wrist cut there. You get a 360 in the wrist, and because it's on a ball hinge, you can rotate it side up and down. Then when you rotate it, you get side to side. But because this ball joint is so fucking small, it doesn't really want to hold the hands in there, and then it's constantly hitting up against this. So you're going to have the issues of the hands popping off. No ab crunch. So all the articulation that's here, that's underneath this, is pretty much useless unless you put your finger up here and like try to use it there. He does have, but again, you have to use that because all this shit here is useless. His legs can lift up this much with the armor on, can move back this much. You can do splits. You can fully do the splits once you get all that out. Can you see? He has a thigh cut, double jointed knees, boot cut, hinge, back, you can move forward that much, and then an ankle swivel. So as you can see throughout, that little area is where problems start to arise with this. And this is where I have issues with companies that try to do their own figures, because, and especially for how much they wanted to charge for this figure. These figures originally went for $56, which I think is fucking ridiculous to be charging $56 for a nicely sculpted figure with kind of shit articulation, or basic ass articulation. Let me show you a $56 figure. And this right here is probably the best example it's going to get. This is the Figma Saber. Hold on, let me get her in a better pose than that. I mean, that's fucking terrible. There we go. This is the Figma Saber 2.0. This is probably the best Figma figure that I've ever added to my collection. I mean, she can do things that my other Figma figures cannot. And the reason for this is because the engineering on the figure is damn perfect. Like, no issues at all, damn perfect. A better example, you want a domestic company that can do figures? Okay. Here is the McFarlane, or I'm sorry, not the McFarlane. This is the Jazzwares 6-inch Fortnite Series Valkyrie. This is Jazzwares' first time ever doing a female Fortnite 6-inch figure. She can do things that not even Marvel Legends female figures can do, and she has the same articulation as the males. Okay? Now let me show you her movement here. Put him aside. That's with not even moving the legs. Yes, she has this issue where her faceplate keeps popping off. So that's forward, okay? That's not even moving the legs. Back. Again, not even moving the legs. Okay? Let me show you her moving her legs. It's as far up as they go. Okay? Can move back. Can move out that much. Okay? Here. Can still move up. Can still move back. Can still do the damn splits. Okay? Or at least close to the splits. And she's only, what? She was only $19? And yet this was $56 originally? And yet this figure has more articulation than this fucking figure. But yet it costs more. The shit just doesn't make sense. It's like this, somehow this figure, which is less than what I paid for this, has more articulation and has better fucking engineering than this figure here. And yet, you know, when you bring up issues like this, people just tell you no, it's cool and stuff like that, but it's not cool. You know what I mean? We're collectors, we vote with our wallets, and when we deal with issues like this, you know, we should just be like, fuck that, and not pay for it. Now, I'm going to go through, after this review, I'm going to go through, and I'm going to try to fix these issues. Not because it's to prove a point, but because I'm going to be using this as a custom base, or a base for a custom version of a character that I want to do, that I might start using for reviews on Word, or whenever I want to take pictures with, you know, Valkyrie and some of my other fantasy figures, I can use this. So, let me at least show you what he looks like with all of his stuff on. Give me 1 second. Okay. So that's him geared up. Like I said, it looks cool with the skeleton mask, and he's got the bladed staff, or the staff with the blade on it. And he's got the katanas in there. But yeah, man, if I had to give him a rating or some type of like numbering system like I usually do, I'd probably give him a 5 or 6. 6 would be pretty generous. 5 is probably what I'm feeling. He's a solid looking figure. Like, the sculpting and stuff is solid, and he looks like, I'm sure, what the Shogun era samurai would look like, at least what, we could see from pictures and what we found so far in terms of, archaeological digs and stuff like that. But yeah, he's a piece of shit. In some ways, because no fucking ab crunch makes it harder to pose him. When you could easily have just either thinned out the plastic here, or made it out of a softer material, or had just put a fucking cut right in there, right where the ab is, right there. Because essentially underneath is the ninja body that they use for their ninjas. And the whole deal with this is that all of this is supposed to be, once you take all the armor and stuff off, it's just essentially the ninjas. Which kind of sucks, because I wish they had at least given a shit enough to have just, I don't know, sculpted something different instead of just reusing parts and stuff. It's just frustrating. And it's reasons like that I don't want to get into the Mythic Legion stuff. I mean, some of their designs are cool. I was looking at Cassia and the female barbarian builder set, but I don't even want to invest in them, because I feel like I would be seriously disappointed and pissed off that I spent you know, money on that just to be fucking disappointed. So, anyway, that's it for me. Hopefully, in an update video or something, I'll, um, you know, have this guy fixed up and better and be more happier with him than I am right now. But yeah, with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and Action Figure Addict 112 out.